scream came first, then the crash. A shelf toppled. Candy bars scattered across the tile. And under the harsh buzz of fluorescent lights, a young woman stumbled backward behind the counter. "Please, just leave." Her voice cracked, trembling. But the two men didn't move. One slammed his fist on the counter, the sound echoing like a gunshot in the empty store. The other laughed, cruel, drunk, and hungry for fear. It was 11:48 p.m. The doors were locked. No customers, no help. Just Mia Rodriguez, 19, small-framed, brown eyes wide with panic. And two men closing in. The bigger one leaned over the counter. "Where's the cash, sweetheart?" Her hands shook as she reached for the register. And that's when the bell above the door chimed. Three shadows entered. Heavy boots, dark leather, silent eyes. The men froze. And that night, inside a cheap corner store, the world was about to remember what kindness looked like when it fought back. Stay with me, because this isn't a story about violence. It's about what real strength looks like when it protects the innocent. Please support us, subscribe, share, and comment Kindness Protects if you believe in standing up for others. Her name was Mia Rodriguez, 19 years old, 5'4", slim build with caramel skin, long dark brown hair pulled into a tired ponytail. She worked the night shift at City Mart on a quiet corner of 12th Street in downtown Atlanta. She wore the standard uniform, a navy polo shirt with the store logo, gray slacks, and scuffed sneakers. Her shift had ended an hour ago, but she stayed late, clearing shelves and doing the nightly closing check. She was saving for college, her mother's medical bills, and a future she believed in. The store was nearly empty. Just her, the flickering fluorescent lights, and the mechanical hum of the air system. When the door chimed, she turned, expecting the cleaning crew. Instead, two men came in, rough faces, leather jackets, boots heavy on the linoleum floor. One slapped a $5 bill on the counter and spat, "Lock the door, kid." Mia's breath stuck. Her fingers hovered over the drawer. The smaller man laughed. "Think you're cute in your uniform? We'll make you cute in a much different way." She backed up slowly, heart racing, eyes wide. Then a group of bikers entered. Three large men in black leather vests, patches reading Iron Angels Motorcycle Club. They took off helmets and moved calmly to the front. The bigger thugs snarled, "You got no business here, Angels!" One of the bikers stepped forward. Tall, broad-shouldered, dark skin, kind eyes. He said softly, "Back off. She's off duty, and you two are out of line." Mia looked at him. Time slowed. That night she discovered that heroes don't always come in uniforms. The store lights flickered. Mia's vision blurred with fear and relief all at once. The thug sneered, "Who hired you all? The cops? We can still bend the rules." The biker raised his voice. "No one got hired, you. We just saw you messing with a kid who was working. You got two choices. Leave now, stay respectful, or find out what respect means." Mia gripped the counter edge. Her brain raced. Her phone was in her pocket. She could press the alarm, but fear made her hands heavy. Then a biker whispered in her ear, "Stay behind me. We got your back." She nodded. The store patrons, two late shoppers and a driver grabbing snacks, watched frozen. The tension filled the air like icy fog. In that moment, the store wasn't just a convenience stop. It was a battleground for human dignity. Mia's dreams, her hope, every paycheck she saved, they all flickered in that one harsh fluorescent glow. She wasn't scared of the threat anymore. She was scared of what would happen if no one stopped it, if no one stood up for her. And then the thug's fist crashed against the glass counter. The biker's right hand landed on the counter too, not to punch, but to steady. An unspoken promise, "We won't let you fall." Pause for a moment, my friend. Imagine being young, just trying to survive the shift, and suddenly realizing your world could be taken in one breath. And then someone you didn't expect stepped in. Who has ever done that for you? Comment protected me if you remember a moment when someone saw you when no one else did. And if you believe kindness still has power, like this video, share it with one person who needs hope and subscribe to Echoes and Struggles because your support means someone else's shield. The bikers didn't raise their voices or brandish weapons. They just stood there, calm, protective. Mia saw the patches, iron angels and silver thread. She smelled the leather and heard the quiet engine hum outside. The thug backed off. He glanced at the bikers, two at his side, one behind Mia. His sneer faltered. He took off his jacket. "We're leaving." The smaller thug muttered curses. Doors closed. Silence settled. Mia exhaled. She felt the tears she had held in all week. The biker who spoke earlier gave her a nod. He said, "You good?" She whispered, "Yes. Thank you." He didn't say, "You're welcome." He just nodded and turned away. Later, while she counted change, she noticed something odd. A veteran biker left behind a small envelope on the counter. It read, "For the girl who works when no one's watching." Inside, $200. Not to buy anything, but to say, "I saw you." Mia held the envelope, heart full, because sometimes strength comes softly, and kindness doesn't rescue with thunder. It whispers it in the right moment. Weeks later, the Iron Angels rolled into City Mart again. Not as drama, but quietly. The store manager, Mr. Bennett, was a tall, balding man with gray hair. He greeted the bikers as friends. Mia was stocking shelves when one of them, the one who spoke in the store, spoke again. "Need a lift home after your shift?" She nodded. He rode his bike. She followed in the back seat. Clean helmet, night wind in her hair. They stopped at a small storefront. Community Hope Center. The biker handed her a letter. It said, "Your shift at City Mart reminded us that heroes exist in uniforms and aprons. We're launching a fund, the Angel Workers Fund, for late-night workers. First applicant, you." Mia felt the weight of the words. Her dreams weren't small anymore. They were possible. She cried, not because she was weak, but because someone believed. Consider how deeply human the world can be when we protect each other. Months later, Mia stood in the front lobby of a small scholarship event sponsored by the Angel Workers Fund. She wore a fresh blouse and pressed tie of a student volunteer, her cardigan draped across her chair. She caught sight of the Iron Angels in the back. Leather vests, but softer eyes. One walked up to her and said quietly, "Ready?" She nodded. They handed her the check. She gripped it, hands steady now, and glanced at them. Then she saw Lena Zhang in the crowd, not in a business suit this time, but casual, standing alone, her dark hair down, eyes kind. She didn't come up. She didn't speak, but Mia saw her. Lena's silent nod reminded her, "We all need someone to believe in us." On stage, Mia spoke, "Thank you, not just for the money, but for the faith you gave me." Outside, Lena watched from the auditorium door, lips pressed, tears glistening. When the crowd cleared, Lena approached Mia. She said softly, "You changed my idea of strength." Mia smiled, because the last act wasn't about grand speeches. It was just quiet humanity meeting quiet courage. So I ask you now, who is the young worker you walk past? Who is the quiet dreamer you ignore because they just work here? And what happens if someone, anyone, just stepped in? If this story moved you, comment, "Kindness protects." Share it with someone who needs to believe in human honor again, and subscribe to Echoes and Struggles. Because every like, every share, every subscribe helps someone get that quiet protection. Because in the end, true heroism doesn't always wear a badge. Sometimes it wears a helmet, and it rides beside you.